Happy Pride Month, everybody. This is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk to you about the love story between Shadowhunters Alec Lightwood and Magnus Bane. So, Shadowhunters was a really good series that lasted for 3 seasons, and it was canceled about 5 years ago. And it's such a popular series on Freeform that so many people are still hashtagging, bringing back like Shadowhunters. But even though it's been canceled for 5 years and the cast has moved on. But when you do click on the hashtag, mainly it's only people who wants to see the relationship spinoff of these two. These two, just like any other character on the show, were very important. And their love story is very, very dramatic and very, very tragic. It's kind of like Romeo and Juliet at times. It's about one person who's closeted, another person who wants to bring that person out, them being together, and things that are constantly getting in their way. Now, Alec, he is played by Matthew Dario, and Magnus is played by Harry Slum Jr. And no, both guys are not like gay or bi or whatever, they're straight. And so, but they was willing to take these roles, and they brought a lot of representation to those roles. Sadly, it would have been better if they were actually gay and bisexual, but you know how Hollywood is and stuff. Like the dude who played Cam on Modern Family, he is straight, and a lot of people will never guess it. And so the story of these two is very, very, very unique and interesting. Magnus is a warlock. He has half demon blood, and he's been around for centuries. And he's been with multiple people for centuries. He is bisexual. His mother, I don't know if I think she was human. And she discovered he had like cat eyes like many years ago in his teen years and stuff. This normally happens when he uses his powers. They used to do that a lot in the first season, but because of budgetary reasons, they stopped in the second and the third. By the way, the third season is by far the best of this series. I talked about the first season already. Go watch that. I will be uploading the third season at some point in time. And I have to rewatch the second because it's been a long time since I saw this series and stuff. And so, his father is very evil and very demonic. And Madness trapped his father in the hellish dimension and stuff. And so, Madness is an extremely powerful warlock and the high-ranking one of that of New York. And so, he comes across, the Shadowhunters. The Shadowhunters are like the elite of the elite. They have angel blood. They think they're better than everybody else. Warlocks are downlings, I think they're called. Downworlders. And also, pretty much anybody who's not a Shadowhunter is like a downworlder, except for humans who they call mundane, because they have no magical ability whatsoever. And warlocks tend to help out Shadowhunters in their quest to help preserve the human life from that of evil people who wants to take over the world and stuff. And it's a very fascinating series. Y'all should really check it out. It still should be on Hulu, but I know for a fact it is free on Freeform. But Freeform has about 6 different ad commercials and they last for a long time. And so Madness, he has been, getting around during the events of Valentine, who wants to take over the world. Valentine is a former Shadowhunter who wants to turn humans into Shadowhunters and raise an army of evil and stuff like that. Valentine's daughter Clary has no idea of this world. Why? Because Madness erased her memories due to her mother asking. Her mother did not want Clary getting involved with her father and dooming the world and this and that. And so she asked him to erase her memories. Well, at some point her memories start to resurface, and there she meets the trio of Alec, Jace, I forget Alec's sister's name. It's like I said before, it's been a while. And so because of that, he is intrigued by that of Alec when he sees Alec and everything. He's very like, he thinks he's a good looking man and he wants him and stuff. And so like he agrees to help and all this other stuff. Now, when it comes to Alec, Alec is a closeted gay man. He is also a shadow hunter, and his family is very pristine. His family is very high ranking, and his mother micromanages and is very stubborn. His parapet is Jace. Basically, it's like two people who are so bonded, like in friendship, they're like connected and they can help increase each other's powers. And so he has always been attracted to Jace ever since they was younger. His family took Jace in when Jace was an orphan. They're like brothers in life, but Alec wants to be more than just like, friends and stuff like that. So he has this yearning inside to be with Jace. Jace has no idea. When Clary comes into the picture, Alec becomes extremely hostile towards her. He doesn't like her. He doesn't want to work with her. He treats her nasty. Mainly because, like I said before, shadow hunters don't like humans and anybody lower than them. And also, there's a romance brewing between that of Jace and Clary. And Alec does not like that. His jealousy gets the better of him to where Clary's life is constantly in danger. In order to try to restore that of Clary's memories, like Magnus sold them to like another demon type person. In order to get them back, they had to shed like a loving memory of something like that, right? Or the one person they loved, they had to like forsake it or whatever. This is what causes Alec to out himself by mistake. You can see the image like above in the sky, like, or what the person wants to forsake, the image of love. And there is a picture of Jace. Alec's like, no, this ain't true. I'm not gay. And this breaks the spell to where Clary can't get her memories back. Jace is surprised. Everybody is surprised, except for Alec's sister. God, what is her name? Isabel, that's it. Izzy. So Isabel's the only person who kind of knew. She can kind of tell. Jace, even though he is shocked and surprised, he doesn't care because they're best friends. He's not going to date him, but that's not going to stop their friendship because they're parapet and stuff. This is what causes Magnus to want to pounce. Throughout the entirety of the first season, Magnus is constantly helping them out, and he constantly wants to spend a lot of time with Alec. He is trying to get Alec to like come out his shell and this and that. A flirting romance, if you will. Magnus is very flamboyant and stuff. And Alex is more reserved. And so as their feelings are progressing and everything, they realize they do like each other. But there are complications. One is Alex's mother and everything. And, something happens to Alex's parents that causes them to start to lose a little bit of power. And in order to regain that, Alec has decided to marry a woman he personally does not like. It's a fake bearded marriage, and that way both their families get to continue doing whatever they want to do and stuff like that. Alec's mother is very happy and pleased her son is finally about to get married. But during that marriage, like his relationship with Magnus is coming to like a boiling point because Magnus is constantly trying to get Alec to come out. Alec is not ready, plus Alec's about to marry a woman. It is during that time Magnus decides to crash the wedding and kisses like Alec in front of everybody, pissing his mother off and everything. And it's to the point where the mother really doesn't want to have anything to do with him and stuff. But now the cat's out the bag and everybody knows what he is. And he doesn't care. For like the first time, he is finally happy and stuff. And his tone starts to shift after that. He's not as grumpy as he normally is. Their relationship is constantly, evolving over time. Like, Alec literally asked him, like, how many men and women have you literally been with and stuff? Because Alec has never been in a relationship with nobody and never done anything with anybody. And Magnus has been around. He's been with over, I think, 1,700,000 or something like that and stuff. But you gotta remember, he's immortal and he's been around since like a really long time. And so I like how they're vulnerable around each other. Like Magnus is a very strong-minded person and has been with tons of people, but with Alec, for some bizarre reason, he's very vulnerable. He feels like, I don't know, like he's almost not good enough sometimes. And Alec really assures him that, he is and stuff. And the thing about their relationship is very, very very well done. It's not overly rushed. Although in the first season it was slightly rushed and everything, but not really. It's slightly different from that of the book. But over the 3 seasons, those two have each other's back, and they're always at discord because of what's going on with the balance of good and evil. Even to the point of Magnus, I believe he betrays Clary and everything and helps Valentine out and stuff like that. And so it does cause a ripple effect between their relationship, but eventually they are able to mend things. However, in season 3, things get a bit more crazy. Because of his interference and always helping out, Magnus has lost his title of high-ranking warlock in New York, and it's passed on to one of his ex-lovers who he can't stand. But then things get worse when Clary starts to fall prey to her evil brother. Because of that, Magnus Jace is also like brainwashed and everything. And in order to save them and stuff like that, Magnus has to give up one of the two things he loves the most. His magic. He loves his magic, but he's willing to do it. And he's willing to give it to his father, who he condemned in that hellish dimension and stuff. This takes a very, very bumpy road to that of Magnus and Alec relationship, because Magnus don't know how to live without magic, like at all. And one of the other bumps they had is when Magnus knew about the whole Raphael and Izzy thing and how she drinks vampire blood as like a drug and stuff like that. But this is the worst bump they've ever had, because Magnus is going through a lot of mental illness at this point. He just can't live without magic. He doesn't look as glamorous as he normally does. Like one of the things about warlocks is they have certain features that make them look demonic. Magnus don't have that because he uses a glamour spell. But when he lets his shield down for Alec, it shows his demonic side. And Alec lets him know, there ain't nothing to worry about. But now Magnus don't have nothing. Somehow he still looks human for some bizarre reason. I don't understand. It's a budgetary reason. But he literally can't. He dresses down. His hair's not done. He's not wearing that much mascara, nothing like that. Like, he just looks like a former person of himself, and he can't cope with it. It's like he's having a nervous breakdown. But Alec is there by his side, even when Madness spirals out of control by, I think, like taking magic from somebody else, and it becomes like a drug to him. And so it's even at the point where Magnus asks another warlock to just erase his memories of Alec and everything, because it pains him. Oh, no, wait, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. See, what happened was, I think at some point in time, Magnus does get his powers back, or at least half his powers back. And so he starts to live at the Institute with the rest of the shadowhunters. Problem is, only shadowhunters are supposed to live there. And shadowhunters, like I said before, don't like nobody who's under them. And so they're constantly staring at him and all this other stuff. And they tell Alec, you're breaking the rules by bringing your boyfriend here, who happens to be a warlock or half human or whatever he is at this point in time in the 3rd season. And it causes so much of a problem that, like, Madness literally asks another warlock to erase all his memories of Alec. He just can't cope with the thought of not being with Alec and stuff like that. It's too painful for him. And so the warlock does that, and this devastates Alec and everything. the warlock is unable to give his memories back, so Alec kind of has to re-jog his memories and stuff. It works, and he remembers like the feelings and the love and everything they've been through, and all like the conversations and the emotions that drove them to the point of falling in love and stuff. And it was so great to see those two finally back together again. But of course, there's more shenanigans going on with the underworld and evil people, and Magnus then has to take the place of his father in that hellish dimension. Now those two can't be together because angel blood can't go down into that evil dimension. So they are once again separated and stuff, but Alec is not going to let that stop him. Him and the others find a way to share each other's powers and abilities to be able to travel to that world and save Magnus, because the evil woman who wants to destroy everything, she's down there and she hates Magnus to death because he is the one who killed her. And so, like, because of that, they are able to save Magnus, destroy the underworld, live back in the human world, and eventually get married. And, when I think of this relationship, it reminds me so much of Buffy and Angel and stuff like that. Like, it's very well paced, it's well written, there's lots of drama, the struggles are real. And, it's two people who literally have each other's back no matter how many hard times they have to go through. And it's not written in a way that many people would say, oh, well, it's just like, a checking off the list or it's shoved down the throat. That's another thing that the writer who wrote these books originally, she made sure that she wrote these two like proper and everything. In the show, elevated that in ways that many people was like unaware of. And it's like, they made sure they took their time, like, to write like a real relationship between these two. And that's always the best thing, because when it's rushed or it's checking off a list, then people think you're just shoving things down their throat. Kind of like in Titans with the whole Bernard and Tim thing. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.